All right, so we are joined all the way from Lagos, Nigeria, the largest city on the African continent, by my friend Elizabeth Ecuadoro. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today. We're in the digital technology career cluster. This is our college career readiness class here at Belma Jackson High School. I've got a room full here with me, and we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools: Rosa Scott, Madison Central, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, the Academic Option Center, and our YouTube channel. And we thank you so much for joining us. You are a security analyst, SOC. I know I got all the terms wrong. You're a lot smarter than me, so you can explain that. Cybersecurity expert and up and coming content creator. We thank you so much for taking some time for us today from all the way across the Atlantic. Hold on, I lost you there.
Oh,
So we had a minor technical difficulty, but again, we thank you so much for joining us from across the Atlantic today.
right. Thank you so much, Greg. Thank you for having me. it's a pleasure to be here. And I must commend you for pronouncing my surname correctly. That's surprising, knowing that we didn't have the discussion like you did ask, yet you got the pronunciation. So
Well, I,
kudos.
I went to I went to college with a lot of Nigerians, so I learned a lot about Nigerian culture and the names
Oh,
and the
I
tribes.
see.
It was really, really cool. But obviously you're in cybersecurity now, and you've made a great name for yourself in a very short amount of time. But to give us a little background, because you are from the River State there in southern Nigeria, and you originally went to university to become a medical doctor, and you have a degree in biology. So you are in a field that you do not have a degree in. So tell us about that university experience and why you wanted to be a doctor, and then what you had a personal incident that really pushed you towards cybersecurity. So tell us about that.
Okay. So, starting out, right, I wanted to be a medical doctor. I think I was just drawn to helping people. So, and I know one of the fields that actually helps one do that is the medical field, where you get to save lives. And it just seemed to me at the time like a purpose-filled life where I get to help people, see them get better, and just be warm and kind to even the people who are, watching over these sick people, right? And I had always been preparing myself to get into the university to study medicine, but I think life had another plan for me, right? So my first admission, right, it was illegitimate. And I found out that my admission was not legitimate. And that meant that I had to be withdrawn from the school. That's a very long story for another day, but it was really demoralizing, especially for a teenager at the time, because I got
Yeah.
into the university pretty early. And so I had to leave the school to the current school where I graduated from, First River University of Technology, and I studied biology. Okay, so over time, I thought I was going to just focus on research, right? Genetics and research. I really did love those areas, but in the long run, I actually got into cybersecurity. And then how that happened, it's a very personal experience and very personal story for me. So my friend fell prey to a phishing scam, and the type of phishing scam is smishing, SMS-based phishing, where she had someone from her bank, right? Somebody claiming to be a representative of her bank, and they asked for certain numbers that actually gives them access to her account. Else, her account was going to be blocked if she did not share those information. So think of it like your social security number, having to share that, and
Yeah.
other personal details, right? And because she was in school at the time, she had to share that out of fear. And that's one of the things that cyber criminals actually leverage on, either fear, either greed, just your emotions generally. And so she gave it details. And from what she explained to me, it didn't take long. All of the money in her account was gone. Talk about her life savings, talk about the money her parents
Wow.
sent to her in school. And so she called me crying. And it was really a moment that shocked me, because prior to that time, I didn't think that people could get their money stolen in that way, right? It's expected that you will be robbed at gunpoint, and then people, get you to either withdraw the money from your bank or get you to transfer that money. But not seeing this person, and all of this whole thing was done, right? And that piqued my interest. So I started making research. I really wanted to find a solution for my friend, especially knowing that my friends see me as their go-to person, someone who always provides solution for them. So I started making research and all about. So I stumbled upon an article at the time that explained certain concepts and talked about phishing. And having read everything from the article, I then realized, oh, this is the same thing that has happened to my friend, and it was fascinating for me. And that was where the whole adventure in cybersecurity began. And here I am today. I sought other programs. I first got into a 1 month boot camp in church. It was hosted by church, right? And then at the end of the boot camp, my instructor was like, "You seem like you're very passionate about this." And he introduced me to the Cyber Girls Fellowship. So I read about it and I was like, yes, I should be here. I really loved the program. I loved all I read about it. And knowing that it's centered on women in Africa, and I felt this was going to be the best decision for me. And I'm glad it really has been the best decision for me.
That's incredible. And your cybersecurity career has already taken you to the United States. You've been working remote with people from all over the world, which is really cool. And I want to talk about that. But I think it's really important to understand for kids that are interested in technology, or interested in cybersecurity, or interested in anything IT. It's
Okay.
not a field that necessarily requires you to have a university degree, because your degree is not in cybersecurity. You went the boot camp route. You can get a certificate. You can get certifications. These companies that are hiring cybersecurity professionals, if you have a degree, that's great, but they want somebody that can do the job and is certified to use their software systems.
True, true. So, for the kids, right, I think that first, I'm very happy about my story, right, because it also gives room for people like me to actually
Yeah.
get people like, when I say people like me, I mean people who didn't study computer science in university, people who did not have a technical background prior to the switch in cybersecurity. Like I said earlier, I studied biology and I did not have the requisite technical knowledge, even though I knew my way around computer, but I just didn't have the requisite knowledge for cybersecurity. So this is just to say, if you're interested in it, I would say you should go for it, because I am a proof that it is actually possible and it's going to work for you, right? So I don't know, do you want me to talk about the ways that people can actually find their way in cybersecurity? What can be done? Should I talk about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so there are so many routes for people who did not study it in university. So as much as your university degree is important, but that's not the only route, right? So you can
Absolutely.
actually go to the route. There are a lot of platforms right now, a lot of companies that are working towards building really great programs. And some of them come in the form of free certification courses that you can take. And at the end of the course, you get a certificate of completion, right? So the first thing I would say is look out for free courses. And you have
Yeah.
examples. You have the Try Hack Me platform where you can take free courses depending on, first, you can start out with the general cybersecurity path, and then you can narrow down, right, from your research, you know what area you want to get into. There are a lot of rooms in Try Hack Me that speaks to different part of cybersecurity. For instance, I mean, the SOC, there is a part for those in SOC. There's a part for those who want to be pen testers, and all of those fields just have different parts in Try Hack Me. You can also find Blue Team, Let's Defend. Let's Defend is another great platform. You have the Cisco Network Academy, which is also skill for all. So you have a lot of courses to take from these platforms. So I know that a lot of people think that free resources sometimes are not really worth it because they are free. But I'll let you know that a lot of these things come free because some persons have paid for it, right? So all you have to do is just give yourself and ensure that you take it seriously, learn, and you would actually find your way in cybersecurity. So having taken these courses, I would then advise that you start working on hands-on projects, right? You already have the foundational knowledge in terms of theory. Now you have to practicalize what you have learned, right? And so there are a lot of platforms, even with the Cisco Networking Academy I mentioned earlier, they have lab projects that you can start using. TryHackMe also have rooms, right, for labs where you can practicalize. And so that just gives you a full experience where you just don't get the theoretical knowledge only, but you get to practicalize as well. And I'll advise that while you learn, ensure that you are seen talking about what you're learning. That's why you have different platforms like YouTube. You have YouTube platforms to learn from. You can share it. Most people wait until they are professionals or they want to get to the professional level before they start sharing. But it is great for you to start out to start sharing even while you are learning, because that's one great way you can also build connection, build friends. You find people who are also learning with you, and you get to learn so much from each other. And then there's the route of community, there's the route of boot camps. There are a lot of programs that host boot camps. For those in the United States, the SANS organization actually has quite a good number of programs, right, that you can be a part of. You get certified and you learn from people who have, decades of experience. Or you can look for other boot camps. Like if you go online, search for cybersecurity boot camps or organizations, NGOs, you would find a lot, even on LinkedIn too, you'll find a lot. So irrespective of the geographical region, you would always find programs that actually you can apply to. So that's one way. Then there's the route of internship. After you have learned, say, the theoretical aspect, you've done one or two projects, you can apply for internships, either paid internships or paid internships. The main goal here is not just the money you get from the internship, right? But you want to get the feel of what it means to work in a cybersecurity organization. Okay, so these are the ways that one can actually got into cybersecurity.
Yeah, and that's something they can do now. And I want to come back to that in a second because I know you're really big on soft skills.
Yeah.
But something I did want to point out is the company you work
Mhm.
for is not a cybersecurity company. It is a finance
Of
company.
course.
And your background is not
Mhm.
in finance. But that's a perfect example
Mhm.
of every company, every industry has to have cybersecurity people because everything has become
Yes.
automated. A lot of things are on
Mhm.
apps. Money has
Mhm.
to be protected. Identity has to be protected. Records have to be protected. So even the hotels we stay at, the hospitals we go to, all of them have cybersecurity professionals, and these are going to be careers that are going to continue to increase all over the world.
True. Very correct. Okay. So, speaking of soft skills, like you pointed out, yes, I work in a financial institution, and I didn't have a financial background. I did have a cybersecurity background prior to my learning, right? So, one thing is this: cybersecurity cuts across industries, right? And I would say that it is applicable to everybody, really. So we need
Absolutely.
people from all walks of life, people from different areas, different angles, to actually come in with their perspectives, right? Because you're dealing with a whole lot of challenges that are even at the global level. Okay, so your soft skills are really, really important. So, like I mentioned earlier, I actually have a passion for research, and it was really amazing. Sorry, I'm going to digress. So I had passion. My first job in cybersecurity was to work as an AI researcher and a technical writer. So you can see that the passion I have for research, I still carried it with me, but in AI now and the cybersecurity space. So irrespective of your soft skills, it is still needed here. It's not just the technical aspect, even at the soft skill level. So you're looking at communication. Are you a good communicator? Do you like to talk? Do you like to share your knowledge? Do you like to, just be out there, be seen, talking to people, trying to convince people? Then this is a good field for you to actually use that too, because you're going to have to talk to stakeholders. You're going to have to, speak in terms of security in a way where the stakeholders who are not technically inclined understand what you're saying and how it can impact their business and, of course, affect the finance of the organization. So, communication skill is great. Another skill is your collaboration or collaborative skill, right? Are you a people person? Because in cybersecurity, you're going to work with quite a good number of people from different departments, right? Cross sectional departments, and you get to interact a lot. Sometimes you get to troubleshoot issues together with people
Yeah.
from this department. So you have to have that skill to be able to thrive in this industry. Another important skill is adaptability. Um, I know that, or you can say, oh, you didn't start out in cybersecurity, but then can you actually come into a field, or you're a person who easily gets acquainted with things, how things work, how places work. So even in cybersecurity, that can actually still pay off, right? You get into different organizations, you get to work with different people, and you are actually being shaped and also shaping this part where you are, right? And other important skills you can also look at the critical thinking, because there are fields, different aspects of cybersecurity that requires that. There's also the need for you to pay attention to detail,
Oh
because
yeah.